JB reporting for Falls on the Edge, and right now they've just come off the stage. Tegan and Sara, welcome to the show. How you guys doing?
Great, thank you. Thanks for having us. Hi.
Now, your last couple of albums have seen your international profile just go up and up and up and up, and I was wondering, what's changed in the last couple of years with you guys that's seen that meteoric rise so recently in the last couple of years?
I definitely think that the internet is maybe I would think our number one tool right now, because there's a little bit of inconsistency, you know, when you're working with a lot of different labels or PR firms or radio stations or whatever. You can only do so much with each individual, but the internet's great because it kind of feeds itself. You don't have to really pay attention to it. It just sort of takes care of it. The fans do all the marketing that we need. So right now I think that certainly in Europe and in Australia, the fans have the fan boards, and they are the ones that are buying the tickets to the shows. And we're not necessarily selling that many more records than we used to, but we definitely could tour everywhere now all of a sudden, which is awesome for us. It's very exciting.
And it certainly seems that word of mouth with other bands has played a part. Can you tell us about some of the bands that you've worked with, some of the people that you've worked with in the industry?
I think it was during If It Was You, which was a couple records ago. We got a call from Ryan Adams, and he asked us to go out and support him on a big, huge tour he was doing in the U.S. And it was right after that we started to see the magnitude of growth that could come from the right opening slot. And you can go out and tour and open for 1 million different people, but if it's not the right group, it's just basically a waste of your time and money and funds. But we've been really particular about what tours we've done over the years, and it started with Ryan Adams, but the Killers were probably the most beneficial for us. And it was weird because we toured with them only in the States, but I felt our international, and Sara was saying our internet profile really grew after that. And I think that a lot of the festivals we've been trying to play more with, like at the rock festivals, which is really out of our comfort zone because we see ourselves more as, I don't know, weird artists, but I think we can become poppy and rocky if we need to. And so we've played with a lot of really great bands this year, met a lot of really cool people like Sparta and Jimmy Eat World, and it's been really kind of neat to see their audience, which is a lot, I think, the same demographic that listened to Tegan and Sara. So we've had a lot of crossover, which has been nice.
So do you prefer the more kind of intimate venues? Is that where you feel more comfortable?
Yes, I think so. I think that
Sara's sick.
I'm really sick. I'm sorry. I think that I personally enjoy a really dynamic set. So it's really fun to get out and just play 11 or 12 rock songs in a row. But for my artist self, I think that to be able to do a proper show in a theater or a club where you can play quiet stuff and mid-tempo stuff and the rock stuff, that's better for me. So, and I also like to be able to look at people and feel like they're looking back at us. At a festival, it's much more anonymous, people are eating pizza and getting hit in the head with beer cans and getting sprayed down with water hoses, and it's much more about the individual experience of the audience goer, whereas I feel in a club and a theater, you're all kind of in it together. There's this strange solidarity of energy where everybody is feeling the same thing at the same time, and I think I like that better, but I like this too.
Well, even today we saw that you've got such a great rapport with the audience, and I was wondering, what's some of the strangest stuff that you've found yourselves talking about on stage?
The last couple of shows we've been on holidays for a couple months, so I feel like we're just kind of getting back into it. But we have really no rules. In 10 years of playing live, Sara and I have never really fought on stage. We will bring up personal history and family and funny stuff, but we try to keep it above the belt, and a good joke's a good joke. So even when Sara gets a good dig on me, or takes the piss, it's still really funny, because as long as it gets a laugh from the audience, it's all in good taste. So there's really nothing we won't talk about. So I think that the audience probably I'd say most of the time in clubs and theaters are more responsive to that kind of dialogue. Obviously, it's hard at a festival, as Sara said. People are so busy trying not to get their faces kicked in by crowd surfers and that sort of thing, that I don't think a story would go over nearly as well. But we try to giggle on stage a little bit over silly things like people getting sprayed down with hoses. It seems extremely traumatizing to all of us. We just took a poll and decided none of us would ever stand near the front for just that reason alone. So, but there's really nothing we won't talk about on stage. We're extremely verbal. So.
And I suppose we're very lucky that here at the Falls Festival and for New Year's we've witnessed your last performance for the year. Out of 2008, what did you hope to achieve out of this year?
I'm really happy with the way that the con came out in the world everywhere. Like, it came out in all these different countries, and we were able to go and tour, and you have a successful tour, and that's really like the most you can hope for with an album. We don't want to put out crappy albums and don't want people to be disappointed, and it felt like like you were saying earlier, that the crowd has grown. The people that like us seem to multiply every time we go back, and we're really just happy with that. We're happy that we're still making records. This is our 5th record, so we're happy that we're still doing this and that we're becoming more and more successful at it. We're really happy.
And I know a lot of your fans are excited about the prospect of a new release already. Yeah. And I suppose you've been touring these songs for a little bit now. But how's the writing going? How is the process going for the next album coming up?
It's going really well.
Yeah, I think that, what did you say, it was 41 songs now? So I think we're at 41 songs that we've written. We've kind of submitted everything we've done in the last year, so I'm not sure that we'll use, or that we won't write more since we have time off now. But we talked with Chris Walla, and we're definitely going to work with him again, which is exciting. He's the guitar player and producer of Death Cab for Cutie, and he did our last record, so he's on board to do the next record. And we've been talking with one of the producers from So Jealous, our record before that, so it'll be some weird mashup of So Jealous and The Con, maybe, in terms of production. And we're locked in to do a spring recording, so this summer, which I don't know, I think that's your winter. Sometime in September, the record will come out, which is really exciting for us. So we're really we're working hard and going to go right back into the studio. But we've had a really nice year, like lots of time off, so I don't feel like we're burned out. And obviously 41 songs, we're feeling extremely